They say every love story has a beginning, but mine started with a single trembling note, a soft, fragile violin sound that drifted through the old music hall like a confession whispered in the dark. I remember standing outside the rehearsal room, frozen, because that melody didn't just fill the silence, it filled something inside me too. If you're watching this, trust me, don't skip. What you're about to hear is a story about courage, fear, and the kind of love that quietly changes everything. And if this story touches you even a little, don't forget to like the video and subscribe, because more hearts deserve stories like this. Her name was Anaya. The shy violinist. The girl who kept her eyes on the floor and her heart tucked even lower. She was everything soft and quiet, moving like she didn't want the world to notice her, and yet, to me, she was the loudest thing in every room. I wasn't bold either, but next to her, I felt like a fire she didn't know existed. Maybe that's why I became her secret admirer, not out of fear, but because she deserved someone who saw her light without demanding she shine on command. I watched her every day during rehearsals. Not in a creepy way, more like someone who admired the moon but didn't dare reach for it. She always arrived early, brushing strands of hair behind her ear as she tuned her violin, biting her lip in concentration. She would play softly, almost apologetically, like she was scared her music might inconvenience the air around her. And yet, every note held stories, stories she never said out loud. I kept my distance, writing anonymous notes that I slipped into her violin case. Your music made my entire day better. You're stronger than you think. The world is lucky to hear your sound. She never responded, not directly, but I'd see her fingers linger on the small folded papers before she tucked them away gently, like they were delicate treasures. One evening, after a long rehearsal, I saw her sitting alone on the stage. Everyone had left, but she stayed behind, violin resting beside her, shoulders shaking. She was crying, and I didn't know why. I stood in the shadows, torn between staying hidden and going to her. She looked so small under the dim yellow lights, like a wilted flower trying to hold on to its last petal. I couldn't walk away. I approached slowly, making sure my footsteps weren't too sudden. She flinched when she saw me, quickly wiping her tears. "Sorry," she whispered. "I didn't think anyone was still here." I sat beside her, leaving enough space so she didn't feel trapped. "It's okay. You don't have to apologize for feeling." Her lips trembled. "I'm not good enough," she said, voice cracking. "My professor says I play too softly. Everyone else is so confident, and I just..." Her voice died. "You play softly," I said gently, "but not because you're weak. You play softly because you're careful. Because you feel every note. That's your power." She looked at me like she wasn't used to being understood. And in that moment, something shifted, like her walls had cracked just enough for the truth to escape. We grew closer after that. Slowly. Carefully. She started waiting for me after rehearsals. I started bringing her warm tea when her hands got cold. She told me about her fears, how her family wanted her to quit music, how she felt invisible around louder people, how she wasn't sure she deserved anything beautiful. In return, I told her the things I had only said to the moon, how loving someone quietly was its own kind of bravery, how it was possible to be terrified and still choose to stay. I still didn't tell her I was the secret admirer. Not yet. I wanted her to believe in herself before believing in anyone else's affection. But storms don't ask if you're ready. 1 week before her big performance, Anaya's mother came to the hall. I heard the argument from the corridor, sharp words piercing the air. "This isn't a career. This is a hobby. When will you stop embarrassing yourself? Mama, please. You're wasting your life." I stepped in instinctively. "She's not wasting anything," I said before I could think. Her mother's eyes narrowed. "And you are. Someone who sees her talent. Someone who believes in her." Her mother scoffed and walked away, leaving silence heavy between us. Anaya sank to the floor, shaking. I can't do this, she whispered. My hands, they won't stop trembling. I knelt beside her. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be brave. Her tear-glossed eyes lifted to mine. Why do you believe in me so much? And that's when the truth finally spilled out. Because I've admired you long before you even knew my name. My voice quivered. The notes, the messages, all of them were from me. She stared, stunned. You. But why? Because your music healed parts of me I didn't know were hurting. Because you deserve someone who sees your softness not as weakness, but as something sacred. Her breath hitched. Slowly, she reached out, holding my hands. I wish you had told me sooner, she whispered. I thought nobody saw me. I've always seen you. The night of the performance arrived. She walked onto the stage with shaky knees but steady courage. I sat in the audience, heart pounding. When she lifted her violin, there was a pause, a single breath where she searched the crowd until her eyes met mine. And then she played. Not softly. Not timidly. But bravely. Her music filled the hall like sunlight bursting through stained glass. Every note was a confession, a memory, a promise. And when she finished, the audience rose to their feet, clapping, cheering, celebrating the girl who once believed her voice was too small. Backstage, she ran into my arms, breathless. Did you see them? They liked it. They really liked it. I held her tightly. They didn't just like it. They felt it. She pulled back slightly, cheeks flushed, eyes glowing. And you helped me find my strength. I swallowed hard, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. No, Anaya. You had it all along. Her voice softened. Maybe. But you reminded me. And then, with the softest courage, she kissed me. Not dramatic, not rushed, just a gentle, warm promise pressed to my lips. The kind of kiss that said thank you, I'm here, I choose this. Our story didn't end there. It only began. There were challenges, family expectations, fears that returned on heavy nights, moments where we both doubted ourselves. But we faced them together, slowly learning that love isn't always loud. Sometimes it's a whisper, a hand held in the dark, a violin string trembling but refusing to break. If you're listening to this now, remember, you don't have to shout to be heard. You don't have to be fearless to be brave. And you don't need a perfect voice to make music that touches hearts. And if this story warmed even a small corner of your heart, make sure to like this video and subscribe, because somewhere out there, another shy soul is waiting for a story that tells them they matter too.